just like yourself. A lot of engagement with our members who are at the moment stuck in the similar situation as most of us are around the world, have been able to benefit from these sessions. Today's session is specifically very interesting according to me in the prevalent times.
Yeah.
As we go forward, there increasingly the world will depend on technology, healthcare, and a whole new business platform which will be run on digital platforms. So I think as citizens, as people on the planet, we need to now figure out things in a very different style. We need to understand the way forward, how each person sitting at their house can actually grow their business by doing it independently, by working from home. I'm sure that this will be behind us at some point in time, but one should be better prepared. And I think technology is the way forward. How well you can actually market yourself, how well you can use technology to grow your business is something that we would like to understand from an expert like you. I believe we are going to talk to everybody about designing digital content today. I think it's a very key element of any business strategy going forward. While most of the people on this webinar today would understand how to do basics of marketing or digital work on for their businesses, we'd like to get an in-depth understanding of really how to take the business from 1x to 10x or 10x to 100x on a digital platform. And I now invite you to take over the session. I believe you have a presentation to run us through so that you can keep us engaged and understand it more clearly. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Rajat. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Sharmila ji. And thank you, Swanbhuti, for the wonderful introduction. So I believe that we have I understand from all of you that we have a very diverse set of audiences today. We have investors, we have women entrepreneurs, we have students and youth. We also have startups. So I'm going to try as much as possible to be contextually relevant to all the sets of audiences that we have today. So I'm just going to take a moment to share the screen and confirm to me once you can share the screen, see the screen. The host has to enable screen sharing for me, please.
Can you please try now?
Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Soumya.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so okay, so just a quick brief about DVO. Like Swanbhuti mentioned, I started the entrepreneurial journey early in life, started at the age of 16. DVO is a team of about 150 people across 3 regions today, which is India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. This slide basically describes us the best, which is we are at the intersection of creative technology and digital media, which essentially means, if I was just simplify it, what we do is we work on brand and content and marketing for businesses. The second pillar of what we do is we have, technology as the biggest enabler for all marketing activities. So we look at how can we digitize the marketing processes for businesses so that it helps in their ROI, it helps in sales. And the third part of it is to essentially drive the numbers for the various businesses. We work across multiple sectors. So depending on what the KPIs and ROI is for those businesses, driving the numbers for those businesses. Yeah. So there's content, there is tech, and then there is numbers that we drive. So this is just to give you guys a sense of the sectors or the spectrum that we work in. So we've been working in sectors like education, entertainment, banking and finance, real estate, wellness and beauty, travel. So it's really been across sector for us, multiple brands, some large brands in these sectors. And we've been driving businesses on digital for all these brands across all the 3 markets. What we also do, like Manoj mentioned, is that I've been active in startup circles, and I recruit startups into our incubator. So these are ad tech and marketing tech startups. And the whole idea of the incubator is, since there are these brands, global brands that we work with, what I also realized when I was working with startups and mentoring them is that some of these guys have some fantastic technology, but they understand their products really well. But I saw that if a company like mine could really mentor them and work with them to develop their products in a way that it creates marketing applications of value for our clients, then it's a huge win-win situation. So it's with that view that I started the incubator, and I connect these startups and technology companies with these various businesses that we work with. And because we understand the technology and we understand the businesses we are working with, we're able to solutionize for these businesses in a way that both of them can be of use to each other. So our startups are in areas like content technology, video technology, personalization of video, AI and ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning and automation, data and insights and analytics, virtual reality and augmented reality. And we look at how all of these technologies can come together to really add value to businesses. And all these technologies today, as I'm looking at it, are becoming even more relevant. There is suddenly a pull, there's a demand for all these technologies as businesses are looking at digitizing, their way of working today. So I was in fact talking to some of my startups and, incubating companies over the last couple of weeks. And I see that some of them are in fact having the record sales in the last many months, because actively people are reaching out to them to help, to get their help on digitizing their businesses. These are just some of the startups that we are working with. Moving forward, since the topic that I'm going to address today is about creating digital content which is of impact, or the changing face of digital content. What is the kind of digital content that's going to work in today's time and age? Let's just step back and get a little bit into the basics, right? So what really happened? Marketing to itne saalon se chal rahi hai, right? So we know that, marketing has existed for hundreds of years. More so when digital was still not at the forefront of marketing. We've had television ads, we've had print ads, we've had hoardings. So, so what's really happened? Has marketing really undergone a change? Has the genesis of, or the basis of marketing really undergone a change? So when I studied this closer, what I do understand is that, it's not just incrementally different, the way digital behaves when it comes to marketing. It's a huge difference in the way traditional channels speak to their audiences and digital channels speak to their audiences. So if you just look at this slide, it will show you how traditional channels use marketing and how digital channels actually use marketing, right? It's from passive to active. It's one way to two way. It's closed ended to open ended. It's mass marketing to one-on-one, right? So it's, whereas the traditional marketing channels were largely structured, whereas when you come to digital, you have to be very, very dynamic with your content, right? So it's a contrast in audience behavior when it comes to these channels. And what we do know now is that there is a lot happening on digital channels. You have YouTube. I'm live at the same time, apparently, on multiple channels. I'm live on Zoom. I'm live on YouTube. This will go up on your Facebook page. Will go up on Instagram. So there's a lot happening across channels when we speak about digital. Now, if you just again step back a little bit and understand, when we speak about digital content, it's not just social media that we are speaking about, right? Let's look at what has changed around us. The first and foremost change that has happened is the introduction of hardware. Earlier it was your laptop. From laptop, you have mobiles. From mobiles, you now have smartwatches. From smartwatches, you have voice-enabled devices. So your hardware environment, the environment around you is changing. It's becoming extremely digitally enabled. Now, with this environment, what you need is applications that can work on these hardware, right? So with your mobile phone, you have Facebook, Instagram, you have photo applications. I have, with smartwatches, you have applications. With fitness wristbands, you have applications. So there is an application layer that sits on top of the hardware. Then from the application comes a need to create content, because if I have to keep engaged with my audiences, I will need to look at what is the hardware environment that my audiences are living in today, what applications already exist on these hardware environments, and what kind of content I can create as a business or a brand or even as an individual to engage with my audiences. But again, what's happening is that there are so many different types of channels available to you. If we just talk about social today, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have WhatsApp, you have new channels like Hello and ShareChat, which are doing really, really well in some of the tier 2 and tier 3 towns. You have TikTok, which is really booming and growing today among the teenagers. So the number of channels that you have to deal with is also increasing. And it's not just the channels. The slide that I have made is actually illegible by design, just to give you an idea that the number of formats, the number of features, the number of possibilities that you have to work with each of these channels is in hundreds, and we perhaps know just of a few of the features, a few of the formats that we can work with. But again, that brings us to a very interesting problem statement, right? I mean, I'm sure that some of you who have started to dabble with marketing on digital channels, it might leave you a little overwhelmed. You are like, itni sari cheezein ho rahi hai. It's a very complex matrix out there of so many things that are happening. And the most important thing to do is to hold your brand narrative together. इतने सारे चैनल से आपके ब्रांड के या आपके बिजनेस के बारे में अगर अलग अलग चीजें बोली जा रही है, तो फिर मतलब नहीं है. There is no single message that is going out, right? So the most important thing to do is to hold a single brand narrative, a single message, a simple message that can go out across all these channels, but also at the same time use the features provided inherently by all these platforms in interesting ways so that you can create impact. Now, what I've done as a part of wanting to simplify this, at the same time create a model for this, because ये इतना complex है कि इसको एक science में अगर डाला नहीं जाता है, अगर इसका कोई modeling नहीं किया जाता है, तो it can really take us everywhere, and we all our efforts will be very fragmented with no impact. So over the last many years, I created a model called as Design for Action. Now, this has 7 pillars to it, and I'm going to talk you through these pillars. I'm also going to show you some of the work that we have done in each of these pillars. Now, the only thing that I encourage you to do is that when I show you these samples, really these will be samples of the work that we've done. As you can see from my clientele, most of our clients are B2C businesses. Most of our clients are entertainment businesses, real estate businesses, travel businesses. So what I show you right now would perhaps be relevant to those businesses, but actively think about how this could apply to your own business. Yeah. So quickly to look at the 7 pillars of Design for Action, which is in fact pending copyright right now. So first is personalization. Now, why is personalization important? Because every brand, every business which is on digital channel, on social media today, has become a news broadcaster. They are all sending messages at you all the time. And after a point, you develop a blind spot for so much communication. So one way to break through that clutter is to personalize communication. And I will show you how we can actually create personalized communication. Now, it can be very, very simple. Now, when you think about personalization, also note that there are 2 things that can enable personalization. One is, what do you know about your customer? What data have you started collecting about your customer? And how are you cohorting your existing customers? The second part of personalization is, how are you using technology in a way that you can start sending out information that is relevant to your customers? And let me tell you, even if Facebook and Instagram and all these platforms are so-called public platforms or mass platforms, there are ways that you can actually create cohorts of your audiences in the backend, so that the message that goes out to the cohorts that you have created is very, very sharp and is relevant to the audiences that you want to talk to. That's on personalization. The second is conversation. Gone are the days when there used to be top-down approach. Now you will see that brands that will actually make a difference are brands that are talking to their customers like peers, like friends. Most of the content is now going to be what I call as conversational or conversation styled. And I'm again going to show you how that's working wonderfully for some of the brands. Again, when you are sending out communication to your customers, your consumers, try and see how you can behave like you are having a conversation with your consumers. That will have far more impact than a formal communication or a top-down communication. The third part is inspiration. Now, when I speak about inspiration, what I mean to say is that the most impactful marketing campaigns are campaigns in which the audiences have either created content on your behalf or they have shared content on your behalf. And how do you inspire people to actually participate in a way that they either create content for you or they share your content? So that's inspiration. And like I said, as I go forward into the presentation, I'm going to show you examples of how this can be done. The fourth is gamification. Let's look at creating content online in a way that everything that you do is gamified. Everything that you do is fun. Everything that you can potentially make into fun, let's make it fun. Again, there are features available within all these platforms that I showed you. I showed you those 300 different formats of creative and content that you can work with. All of these have interesting features through which you can gamify your content, because when you gamify content, you create engagement. When you create engagement, you create involvement with your brand, and therefore the brand stays with your consumer or your audiences. Videos for storytelling. Now, videos by and large are the most effective way in which you can involve your audiences in your storytelling or to become a part of your story. It's by far the most impactful channel through which your audiences can become a part of your story. And to add to that, almost all digital channels that you have today, they promote video content, which means that if you're investing, agar aap video content mein invest kar rahe ho instead of a static content, you can be sure that the money that you put behind video content will give you a much higher return than creating static content. A subset of video is also virtual reality today, right? So VR is a technology that we have been looking at working with for the last many years, and it's going to become even more relevant in these times when people are not going to really step out of their homes. People are going to be more within, their own areas and not going to travel much. How do you make them a part of, your storytelling? How do you create immersion for your brand using virtual reality? So VR will become a subset of video storytelling in the coming months, very, very aggressively. Then I have something called innovation and simulation. It's really about how can you use the environment that you have. मतलब हमारे अगर आप if you look around you, हर एक चीज का you have a mental image of user interface, right? आप अलार्म लगाते हो तो उसका एक तरह का user interface है, आप वाईफाई को कनेक्ट करते हो तो उसका एक तरह का user interface है. So if you look at the world, everything is like interesting like a user interface. तो ये user interface को लेके हम किस तरह से innovate कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से interesting ways में brands का message we can incept in the minds of people is what innovation and simulation is. And the last is, and it's this one is very, very dear to me. हम जितना digital के बारे में बात करते हैं आज, but we all cannot just simply live in virtual world, right? We are human beings. We need people connect. There's more to life than just digital. So here, what I have seen is that whenever we do campaigns, that where we say that आप अगर ये action online लोगे तो इसका impact कहीं पे offline हो रहा है. The best examples for this is CSR. For example, we've done stuff like engage with this content, or share with us what you think about this content, and we'll plant a tree, or we'll donate a meal, or stuff like that, where whatever action you're expecting your audiences to do in your digital environment actually creates an on-ground impact or offline impact. So I call this act online and impact offline. Yeah, so this is these are the 7 pillars of design for action, and the core part of all of this is technology as an enabler. What we cannot miss now going forward is that we need to actively start how you can improve experiences for your consumers. There is this great shift that I have seen in the last 4-5 weeks, since we've been in a lockdown. Zoom calls पहले भी हुआ करते थे, वीडियो कॉल्स पहले भी हुआ करते थे, वर्क फ्रॉम होम का ऑप्शन पहले भी हुआ करता था. बट एक बात, there's online education, for example, which is as an industry seeing a huge rise right now. ये पहले भी हुआ करता था. But what I've seen is that there is an inherent friction of adoption to new technology, क्योंकि there are some certain default ways of being. There are default ways in which businesses are already going. जब आप कुछ नया इंट्रोड्यूस करने की कोशिश करते हो उसमें तो एक inherent friction होता है उसमें. But अभी आप देखो कि out of no choice, suddenly we have leapfrogged like 20,000 years now. We have all adopted to digital channels. We are looking at interesting and engaging ways to work with digital around us, right? So there is really no option in this direction. Just sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, guys. So there's really no option in this direction, and we will when we go forward, we will have to use technology as an enabler for everything that you do with marketing. Now, I'm going to just quickly show you some quick examples of how personalization has worked for some of our brands. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you some examples from our own clients, and this is a key visual of a series called as Game of Thrones. Most of you may be familiar. So when we launched Game of Thrones for Star World in India, we did a very, very simple thing. We know that selfies lena sabka fad hai, right? And all we told people is that aap apne faces is profile mein bhejiye hame. As Star World, send us all of your profiles or your faces in this, in this frame, and we will customize your faces for a Game of Thrones की visual. तो हर एक बंदा जिसने उसका image हमारे साथ share किया, उसको within a few minutes we were able to send him a customized poster with his own face in it. It got shared like crazy because Game of Thrones is a cult, show. People follow it like crazy, and with that, we went viral. We were trending for about 3 days, etc. But it was nothing but simple insight of the fact that people love to take selfies. And 2, we built a code on top of Photoshop in a way that we could customize people's faces within just a couple of minutes. This simple personalization technique made sure that the campaign was a huge success. Again, going forward, here is how we used data, machine learning and artificial intelligence along with personalization for a brand called as Gaana. Gaana ने एक नया feature introduce किया था जहाँ पे आप phone पे voice search कर सकते हो कोई भी गाने के लिए. So on World Music Day, what we told people is you can simply mention any country or any city in the world, and we will send you a custom playlist which will be aligned to your music preferences. And once that happened, people got these customized posters from Gaana. And again, the moment you actually personalize something for somebody, the chances that they share it, the chances that they feel special, the chances that they would engage with you as a brand also tends to become much higher. So design for action, the first part, like I mentioned, is personalization. Now, there is, again, when I say use of technology for personalization, here is one of our partner companies which helps people personalize videos as well. Technology simple hai, method bhi simple hai. आपके पास आपके customers का अगर database है, you know that these 1,000 people, these 25,000 people are my potential customers. Instead of just sending them some message on Facebook or some message on Twitter, you could send them an email where once they open the email, they get a video that is customized by their names, by their details, and that will create a far more impact for your consumers. So this is how it works. हम बेस वीडियो क्रिएट कर लेते हैं, मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ. बेस वीडियो एक ही होता है, आपको हर एक बंदे के लिए अलग वीडियो क्रिएट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट वो डेटाबेस के साथ आपके डेटाबेस के साथ बात करके पूरा पर्सनलाइज करता है एक्सपीरियंस को. So this is how all the stuff that you see in yellow over here is what is personalized for the person who is watching the video. This is particularly for a loyalty program. Yeah, so these are different ways in which, of course, we have used technology to personalize. But the core point here is, irrespective of the business that you run, first look at there are multiple technological options available to personalize content for your consumers. Even your social media platforms allow you audience cohorting in order to personalize content for your consumers. Even when you send a simple emailer or a simple message to your distributor or dealer, just make sure that the content is personalized. Again, one of the trends that you will observe is moving from public engagement to private engagement. In one of the questions that had come to me, which Swanbhuti shared with me, somebody has asked, with the lockdown, so many brands and so many businesses are doing Insta lives and Facebook lives. Is it even effective after a point? It's a very, very fair question. It's not effective if it's one thing for everybody. That's why businesses are moving from use public platforms to make contact, discover your audiences, but eventually move them to personalized channels like Messenger, eventually move them to personalized channels like WhatsApp bots or WhatsApp for Business. You have groups like close friends groups within Instagram. Within Facebook, you have closed groups as well. So the more you use public platform to drive the audiences to private platforms, you will see that the content that you give out will have far more meaning for those close set of audiences, because you don't want to do one size fits all. And therefore this trend is going to be a very, very important trend. I'm just going to stop here for a moment and I'm going to confirm with Swanubhuti that this is okay, the pace is okay, I'm not going too fast. Is this all right? So far so good?
The pace is definitely good. The only thing is, if you could use a little more Hindi jargon, I think that's what people are requesting for. Rajat, do you have any input here?
I'm here. I'm in sync with you.
No. Do you have any input on this point? I'm saying.
I think it's fine. We're going fine.
You're going fine? Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll move to a little more Hindi as we go along in the slides. Okay. So the second pillar is conversations. Like I said, the trend is not going to be top down approach. हम जितना conversations में बात करेंगे उतना effective होगा हमारा communication. अब इसके हमारे पास क्या क्या examples है. जैसे मैं अगर आपको दिखाने जाऊं तो Netflix, अगर आपने आप social media पे देखा है तो आप देखोगे कि सारे उनके post पे वो जिस तरह से बात करते हैं, it's almost like they have become a personality and they're engaging with you like a friend. And this is going to be a very, very important trend for brands and businesses as we go forward. हमने खुद हमारी brands पे जैसे Z5 या Flipkart video पे हम बहुत सारा vernacular content use करते हैं, and that also brings me to my next point, where the rise of vernacular. English is one. There is enough English content, but there is very, very limited content when it comes to Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, South Indian languages. So we've started to use a lot of vernacular content in all our social communication, and what we do see is that जब हम vernacular content, हिंदी content, मराठी content ऐसे segregate करके हम social media पे डालते हैं, तो हमारा engagement, हमारा reach जो है, especially tier 2, tier 3 towns में, वो immense हो जाता है. So the other part of conversations is to also have conversations in a language that people connect with. So this again is an important pillar when it comes to design for action. Now this is all आप जो देख रहे हो यहाँ पे हम Bengali content, Tamil content create करते हैं, and all this content actually sees really, really good engagement from across the country for us. This is probably one of the most important slides that I want to talk about. One major trend that's coming about, and one major trend in the audience behavior that is coming about is voice, right? जितना हम conversations की तरफ जा रहे हैं, जितना content conversations की तरफ जा रहा है, उतना voice search या conversation with devices, this is going to be on the rise. So it's expected that almost 50% of searches today are going to happen on voice or using voice, right? So any business that you run, आप जानते हो कि आपके business के लिए there will be a set of keywords that people are likely to use, and for all you know, they may be using Hindi, Marathi, or any of the local languages in order to search for. जैसे अगर मैं ऐसे okay Google मेरे घर के सबसे पास वाला mobile shop ही मुझे बताओ, right? So one, people are going to search using vernacular or their own language. Two, even if they use English to search, the point is the way they're going to search is using a set of keywords which is conversational in nature. So for all your businesses, I would encourage you to identify which are the main keywords that are likely to be searched for on Google for your business. And this is how this is how we've done this for some of our clients. जैसे ही आप आपका business voice search के लिए optimize करते हो, आपको एक listing मिलता है. You guys may be familiar with SEO, right? Search engine optimization में top 10 results में आपके businesses को आप देख पाते हो जब you optimize for certain keywords. But with voice search, what you receive is what's called as featured snippet or zero position. आपका market leadership हो जाता है voice search के लिए जब आपका business optimize होता है. And the interesting part is that अब ये domain में या ये zone में बहुत सारे businesses नहीं हैं. तो अगर आपका छोटा business भी हो, तो अगर आप now is the best time, आपका competition ही नहीं है voice search में. Now is the best time for you to get your business optimized for voice search. Now you'll see how we have done voice search optimization for keywords that we identified that were most used for some of the businesses we are working for. So just look at this example now.
Benefits of granola bar.
Here's a summary from Gaia Good Health. Here's how granola bars can do wonders for your body and therefore your mind. 1. Reduces cholesterol. 2. Boosts energy. 3. Prevents anemia. 4. Great source of vitamin E. 5. Great source of protein and fiber, and more.
How to select right cycle frame size.
According to Firefox Bikes, choosing the correct size frame for road bikes. Stand with your legs 15 to 20 centimeters apart. Measure the height from your groin to the ground. Multiply the leg inseam length with a factor of 0.70. In short, your frame size for the road bike will be 53 centimeters if your leg inseam is 76 centimeters.
So, यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक सिंपल सी बात हो रही है. Firefox Bikes जो कि साइकिल ब्रांड है, उन्होंने देखा कि लोग जब सर्च कर रहे हैं about what kind of cycle to buy, तो किस तरह के keywords यूज कर रहे हैं सर्च करने के लिए. वो keywords लिया, conversational keywords लिए, and कंटेंट को ऑप्टिमाइज किया ताकि जब कोई सर्च करे यही स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन के लिए, So Google can reply saying, according to Firefox spikes. Now you can imagine what is the kind of equity that the business gets simply because Google is saying, according to Firefox spikes, this is the information that you need to know. So it's creating a thought leadership for you. So irrespective of the industry that you are in, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's real estate, you would know what keywords are most likely to be used when people search for you. Just go ahead and optimize that for voice search. Moving forward, commerce through conversations. Again, this becomes very relevant now that people are going to buy, people are going to engage and inquire primarily through digital channels. So we need to give them an experience that comes as close to a one-on-one sales as possible. And therefore, the prominence of chatbots, whether it's customized chatbots that can rest on your website, or whether it is WhatsApp for business and WhatsApp bots, or Facebook Messenger. These are all types of bots using which you can make sure that sales are enabled in seamless ways for consumers who are engaging with you on your digital channels. So here is an example of a chatbot in a retail industry. So H&M has this chatbot that it runs through, which allows you to pick and choose the costumes that you want to buy. It asks you for your preferences, you choose the preference, and then it says, hey, this is the range of clothing that you would want to buy. And it allows you to go through e-commerce from the chatbot itself. This is again, a tool for those of you who may be running small retail businesses like jewelry business, maybe, or even clothes and apparel business, using a platform called as Jumper AI, who's also our partner, can be very, very interesting. आप Facebook से sales enable कर सकते हो, आप Instagram से sales enable कर सकते हो, आप QR code से sales enable कर सकते हो. All it asks you to do is hashtag आपको यूज करना, आपको ऑडियंसेस को बताना है फेसबुक पे, इंस्टाग्राम पे कि आप हैशटैग यूज करो और हमसे हमारे कमेंट्स बॉक्स में कमेंट करो. जैसे ही आप वो करते हो, चैटबॉट ओपन हो जाता है एंड इट स्टार्ट्स टू आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस लाइक एक्चुअली अ ह्यूमन बीइंग वुड आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस. यहीं पे मशीन लर्निंग और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक्चुअली काम में आते हैं. आप इंटेलिजेंस बिल्ड करते हो into the system, wherein you can understand what are people's preferences about, how people are actually shopping, and use that intelligence, use that machine learning in a way to deliver the right content for your consumers. Machines का एक simple logic होता है. जितना आप कॉन्वर्जेशंस करते हो मशीन्स के साथ, जितने ऑडियंसेस आपके कॉन्वर्जेशंस करते हैं मशीन्स के साथ, वो ऑटोमेटिकली लर्न करना शुरू कर लेता है. सो विद एवरी कॉन्वर्जेशन द मशीन गेट्स स्मार्टर, द कॉन्वर्जेशन गेट्स स्मार्टर. यू गेट एन इनपुट अबाउट व्हाट योर कंज्यूमर्स आर लुकिंग फॉर, एंड दिस इवेंचुअली ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 months, over a period of 6 months, you will see that the conversations become extremely seamless. So today, if you implement a chatbot for your business, and it's not a very expensive thing to implement a chatbot for your business, there are ready-made applications available to implement chatbots, right? So today, if you implement a chatbot for your business on your website, on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, in 3 months, in 6 months, you would see that the experience of the chatbot has become very, very seamless. Going forward, now I'm coming. So we looked at personalization and how you can enable personalization. We looked at how conversations, whether you're using conversations on your social media platforms to establish your personality, conversations by the way of using regional language, conversations by the way of using voice search, or conversations which enable commerce, which is using chatbots, is what conversation pillar looks like. Now moving forward to inspiration. Now this is a bit, this is a very wide zone. The question is, how do you inspire your audience to share your content or to create content on your behalf? It's sort of, you're working in a bit of a subjective realm when you say that I want to inspire my audience, right, to talk about me or to share my content. So I have been able to bring this into 3 simple points really. One is authenticity. आपका ब्रांड अगर stands for a particular value or it stands for a particular personality, आप उस personality से deviate नहीं करना. So let's not be cool for the sake of being cool. आप जितना authentic हो अपने content के साथ, उतना people connect with your content. Second is relatability. मतलब आप इस तरह से बात करो जैसे वो ऑडियंसेस के लाइफ में एक्चुअली हो रहा है और वो जो आप दिखा रहे हो उन्हें वो उसके साथ कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं. एंड थर्ड इज, अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपके ऑडियंस आपके साथ एंगेज करे तो एक्टिवेशन को या एंगेजमेंट को बहुत ही सिंपल हमें रखना है. और मैं आपको दिखा रही हूँ कुछ सिंपल हैक्स दैट वी हैव यूज्ड in a way that people can start talking to us. The first part of this is what we did for McDonald's in India. आप जानते हो कि last year McDonald's in the north and east went through a bit of legal trouble and they were shut for a few months. And when the corporate from the US came and took over McDonald's in India, हमारा main objective ये था that we wanted people to really share with each other or communicate among their peer groups that McDonald's is back. तो Instagram में एक सिंपल फीचर है जिसका नाम है विश लिस्ट. ये विश लिस्ट जो है आपको राइट बॉटम में दिखेगा जब आपको कुछ अच्छा लगता है. जब आप स्क्रॉल कर रहे हो इंस्टाग्राम से, इंस्टाग्राम फीड्स, आपको जब भी कुछ अच्छा लगता है तो आप सेव टू विश लिस्ट करते हो. तो हमने इस तरह से एक जम्बल्ड अप क्रिएटिव दिखा दिया लोगों को इंस्टाग्राम पे. एंड वी सेड जब आप राइट सीक्वेंस में सेव करोगे तब आपको heart milega, and that's where you say find your heart again. So we used a simple feature within Instagram for people to put together, like we've all played jigsaw puzzle as we were growing up. We just said save in the right sequence and you will find your heart again. And this is how hundreds of people shared hearts on their stories, on their Instagram stories, which helped us spread the word around audiences who are already engaged with McDonald's India, saying that McDonald's is actually back. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so moving forward, this is another very interesting campaign that we did just recently. This is for a brand called as W. Where it's a women's ethnic wear brand. W stands for very forward-looking woman who's modern in her outlook, but at the same time she's an Indian in her heart. 21 days का जब lockdown हुआ, there was obviously a lot of resistance in people. There was hurt, there was anxiety, and what we did immediately is we turned around the campaign where every single day we released one creative like this, which asked people to look inwards. So this whole campaign played out in a way where we told the women that it's not a 21-day lockdown, but it's a 21-day awakening that you're going through. So we flipped the context of the lockdown, and interestingly, we saw that people started sharing this creative on their WhatsApp groups because this was inspiring. This is exactly what people wanted to hear. And this is how eventually the grid looked. And we had media covering us for the fact that we flipped around the context for what you called as 21-day awakening. Again, if you look at it, it's a simple insight. People were feeling low. People were feeling anxiety. We said, can we flip around the context, speak as W, stay true to the brand, but inspire people to look at this in a different way. Engaging your community. So you're selling to actual people. जो आपके brand के consumers है, these are real people. आप उन्हें, even if you create, like, there are interesting ways to do this, but if you see, get 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, or 100 people in your community to be featured on your pages. So again, for W for Women during these times, we created a campaign called as W for Wonder Woman. और जो भी ये COVID के वक्त they were fighting it out. They were healthcare workers or taking care of children who are healthcare workers. We started to feature them on our pages. And the moment you do that, the moment you start engaging your community, you will see that people start sharing your brand and sharing your content far and wide. So engaging your community is another interesting way to inspire people to share your content. Moving forward, I'm skipping some of this just in the interest of time. I do have some interesting work to show you. Moving forward, this is an example of a brand where our customers run the page. We actually don't do anything. This is again for Firefox bikes. हमने सिर्फ एक purpose दे दिया है ये brand के लिए. हमने कहा है कि आप cyclist हो, आपको cycling करना अच्छा लगता है, तो ये जो Instagram handle है ये आपके हवाले. So this is a great example of a brand where our consumers are running our Instagram page, right? So these are just some simple ways through which you can inspire people to share your content. You can engage with the community, work on insight, keep it very, very simple, keep it in a way that people will be encouraged to share your brand's content. You may have also heard of this term called as influencer. Many businesses today use influencers. Many businesses today use influencers to market their content. So influencer is anybody who has X amount of fan following on their Facebook page or Instagram page. अब जैसे रिटेल ब्रांड्स बहुत सारे इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, फाइनेंस ब्रांड्स भी इन्फ्लुएंसर्स यूज करते हैं. तो टुवर्ड्स दैट वी क्रिएटेड व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एन ऑथेंटिसिटी मीटर, where on a 1 to 6 scale you can actually check the effectiveness of use of an influencer. So I'm not getting into too much detail on this. If somebody wants to know how best to pick influencers for your brand, you could sort of speak to me separately. But at the same time, this is how choosing people from within the community, nothing works like choosing people from your own audiences, choosing real people who use your products in order to get your campaign out. This is a brand called as Naturalizer. It's a brand that we work with in the Middle East. और ये जो लोग आप देख रहे हो, ये actually real people है. These are real working women. This is a real pregnant woman who is actually just the user of Naturalizer. तो इन्हीं को हमने हीरो बना के, हमको किसी सेलिब्रिटी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी, कोई सेलिब्रिटी एंडोर्समेंट की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी, इन्हीं को यूज करके हमने ये पूरा कैंपेन बनाया.
Hi, I'm Rania Ali. I'm an international presenter, a keynote speaker, and a mother.
Yeah, so she's not a celebrity, like I said. She's just a regular person like us, and we were able to do an entire campaign just using real consumers. Moving forward to the pillar of gamification. Like I said, if there is an opportunity for you to gamify anything, please do gamify it. Now, of course, I'm going to show you some examples of how we've used technology to gamify. But like I said, within Facebook, within Instagram, there are interesting ways in which you can gamify without investments. And what you will see or what you'll achieve through gamification is audience engagement and audience involvement. अब Coffee with Karan के लिए हमने कॉफी विद करण इज अ फेमस टॉक शो, और ये फेमस टॉक शो में एक section है which is called rapid fire with Karan. So we all know that we'd love to be on the chat show with Karan. So what we did was we pre-recorded certain questions with Karan, and on using Spark AR, which is a AR application that exists for businesses within Facebook and Instagram, we created this engagement for audiences. Okay, so you're just going to see this experience right now.
If you woke up as me, what's the first thing you would do?
Get signed in a movie.
If men were equated with food, what would Varun's happen?
Pizza.
Yeah, so ये आपके Facebook story पे या आपके Instagram story पे आया है. Spark AR नाम का एक AR application है जो Facebook और Instagram आपको available करते हैं. उसे यूज करके हम इस तरह के एंगेजमेंट्स बना सकते हैं. अगेन इन अनदर सिनेरियो, This is a hospital called as Burjeel Hospitals in the Middle East. उनका एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ये था कि उनके फार्मेसी में जो ऑफर्स चल रहे हैं वो सब लोगों को पता नहीं थे, और हॉस्पिटल में तो लोग आ रहे जा रहे थे, बट दे जस्ट कुड नॉट आइडेंटिफाई, दे डिड नॉट हैव द अवेयरनेस ऑफ द ऑफर्स दैट वर गोइंग ऑन. सो वी क्रिएटेड अ सिंपल AR एप्लीकेशन जहां पे people walking in and out could simply use their phone and point it to the marker, which is the Burjeel logo. जैसे ही वो पॉइंट करते हैं वैसे ही उनके एनवायरमेंट में बटरफ्लाइज दिखना शुरू हो जाते हैं using their phone lens. And they were asked to tap on the butterfly and unlock offers, and this is actually how that worked. So if you see, the butterflies are seen in the environment. The user is tapping on the butterfly, is trying to hunt the butterfly down and tapping, and the offers are getting revealed. Now, again, irrespective of the business that you're running, this could be a very interesting way to engage your audiences even when they are at home. Through an interesting AR application like this. आप घर बैठे हो, आपको discount unlock करना है, तो this could be an interesting way to do this. आप newspaper ad कर रहे हो, तो newspaper पे point करके, having people play the game within their own home environment, if not just the retail environment, could be an interesting way to engage audiences. Yeah. Now, this brings me to another interesting subject, maybe very, very relevant for manufacturing companies or product companies. If I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but if you have not, I encourage you to just go and type either lion, tiger, bear, any of these keywords on Google. आप जैसे ही कीवर्ड ये टाइप करते हो, it gives you a definition of what a lion or a tiger is, like Google would, and then it will show you a link which will say experience this animal in your environment, 3D in your environment. Now this is an extension that has come about where आपको कोई application की जरूरत नहीं है, and you can place your product, your object, of any physical life-sized object in the environment of your consumer. So if you just look at how this works. Yeah, so using AR, we've used using AR, which is actually now through Chrome. You can see this. Like I said, आप Google भी on करके lion या tiger डालते हो तो आपको ये option दिखेगा. आपके phone से आप lion को आपके घर में experience कर पाओगे. So this technology is now available. It's a new technology that has come about, but it's now available even for regular businesses. We are still in a beta stage with this, but going forward, अगर आप होम अप्लायंसेस में हो, आप फर्नीचर बिजनेस में हो, तो आप इस तरह से you can encourage people to place the product in their environment or look at the product in their own environment. You can encourage your customers to have a life-sized object in their environment and examine that object, right? So these are things that you will see more and more in application as we go forward, and as businesses start to become largely digitalized in the way they sell as well. Yeah, now I'm coming to some subtler and engaging content which I want to show you. So for Ghana.com, what happened was in January, which is 26 Jan के आसपास काफी unrest था India में. There were students that were being beaten up, and there was a communal unrest that was going on. If you guys know, people were doing peace marches everywhere. So उस time पे against that backdrop or against that background, for Ghana we just decided to recreate Vande Mataram. अब this is again a very very simple idea, but ये ऑडियो विजुअल में ना एक मैजिक होता है जहां से वो आपको पूरी तरह से इन्वॉल्व कर देता है इनटू द स्टोरी टेलिंग ऑफ योर बिजनेस. So I'm going to just take about 30 seconds and I'm going to have you watch this video. Also ये वीडियो बनाने के लिए हमने किसी प्रोफेशनल्स का लार्ज सेलिब्रिटी या पेड आर्टिस्ट का यूज नहीं किया. ये रीजनल आर्टिस्ट थे. We called them together and we recreated Vande Mataram just so that we can bring back the whole bonding of the nation together. And this is how it looked.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Suchala, Sufala, Malaya Chashitara. Suchala, Sufala, Malaya Chashitara. Sasya Shamala, Mataram, Vande. Sasya Shamala, Mataram, Vande. Shubhra Jyotsna, Pulakitayamini, Pullak Sumita, Dhumadala Shobhini, Suhasini, Shumadur Bhashani,
Soumya, will we be breaking for the Q&A now? Hi, Soumya.
Yeah.
Swanuputi here.
Yeah.
Will we be breaking for the Q&A now?
We could do that if you want to break for the Q&A right now. We could do that, and then maybe contextually I can take up the questions and complete the presentation here. Do you want to do that?
So just in the interest of, because there are a lot of questions.
Okay.
And if you want to wind up, or maybe, and then we can take up the questions.
Yeah, no problem. So I think let me just make a few points, primarily, to just cover the main pillars that we have around design for action. I just looked at the time. I realized that we've sort of overshot the time right now. So I think the larger point that I want to make is that use of AV content. अगर आप देखते हो कि लॉकडाउन के वक्त भी काफी लोगों ने घर से वीडियो शूट करके उसे ऑनलाइन किया है. The only core point here is आप अपने बिजनेस के लिए एक ऑथेंटिकली खुद भी जब रिकॉर्ड करते हो एक वीडियो, उसका इम्पैक्ट इज फार मोर देन स्टैटिक कंटेंट. अब अगेन कमिंग टू द मेन पॉइंट ऑफ यूजिंग फेसबुक एंड इंस्टाग्राम एंड ऑल दीज चैनल्स, स्टोरीज में वीडियोस यूज कर सकते हैं, स्टोरीज में एंगेजमेंट ला सकते हैं. सो इफ यू जस्ट टॉक टू अ प्रोफेशनल, दे कुड टॉक यू थ्रू और टेक यू थ्रू हाउ ऑल दीज फॉर्मेट्स कैन एनेबल वीडियो टू रीच योर राइट ऑडियंसेस. Again, I had already mentioned the importance of looking at virtual reality. ये कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स है जहाँ पे पूरे यूनिवर्सिटी को वर्चुअल रियलिटी में शूट करके जो स्टूडेंट्स एक्चुअली यूनिवर्सिटी तक पहुंच भी नहीं पाए हैं, उनका भी एडमिशंस करवाया गया है. सो दिस इज द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ हाउ वर्चुअल रियलिटी कुड बी यूज्ड फॉर सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग. Moving forward, I think Swanubhuti, let's take the questions, because I think I have covered most of what I want to say. I'll be happy to sort of take, if somebody wants to know about a particular pillar in specific, I'll take that question separately. Let's have the questions coming to me right now.
Sure, great. So over to Rajat for the Q&A. Hi, Rajat. Okay, while Rajat is coming in,
yeah,
I will probably begin with a couple of questions meanwhile. Rajat, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, okay, we have Rajat. Great.
Just 1 second. There's some problem. Just 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Rajat.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Rajat.
Sorry. So I think we are now heading towards question and answer session. Soumya, really, I must tell you, when you were talking and taking us through some of the key elements of your design content, creation, I saw a lot of questions, a lot of people wanting to get in touch with you. So I must congratulate you for having simplified for us, and in the short span of time trying to achieve a lot. Soumya, there are a lot of questions and it will be difficult to answer everyone's question.
Yeah.
But I'd like to start with the first question. Then I'll request Sharmila ji, Swanubhuti and Rajesh ji if they can subsequently keep asking questions that pertain to their audiences.
Sure.
So the first question I saw from the live session today is that even if you are a B2B business, which doesn't cater directly to clients or customers, specifically B2C, say you are in specialty chemical or any B2B business,
Correct.
how can one use digital marketing more effectively? Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the question. So I think all of those points that I mentioned in Design for Action, which is personalization, conversations, all those need to apply even if you're doing a B2B marketing. Now, the genesis of marketing does not change even if you're talking to B2B. आपके पास जो channels है, जैसे Google, मैंने voice search के बारे में बात किया आपसे, SEO के बारे में बात किया, content marketing के बारे में बात किया. All of that is still applicable for B2B businesses as well. In fact, the interesting thing is, unlike B2C, आपके लिए competition काफी कम है digital पे. You know, B2B businesses have not fully explored digital marketing. But at the end of the day, when I'm looking for a vendor, I go and search on Google for a vendor. I look for recommendations from people for a vendor. So you could potentially look at being a first mover in a B2B place using design for action principles. आप अगर B2B में भी पहले वो business होते हो जो personalization को interestingly employ करता है, तो obviously you'll be able to create a dent in the market. Yeah, does that answer the question? Is there something more specific that I can respond to? So for B2B per se, definitely look at Google, definitely look at voice search, definitely look at personalizing communication that goes out to your audiences, whether you're using emails, whether you're using Facebook, whether you're using LinkedIn, whatever channel that you're using. Personalize your communication, use a lot of video content in order to send your message out. I think that summarizes how B2B should use digital marketing.
Thank you, Soumya. Sharmila ji, do you have a specific question or that from the audience that you'd like to take up?
Soumya, it was wonderful, and I have got a lot of, SMS. In fact, people would like to have your presentation. Because they can study, and also Swanubhuti, would it be possible to share Soumya's presentation to all the participants today?
So if we receive it from Soumya, of course, yes, I can share it with you.
Yeah, so Swanubhuti, I'll send a particular version of the presentation. All of this may not be relevant for everyone, but I'll send you a version of the presentation which I think you can share with people.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And now coming back to the question, it was, I think, wonderful insights over here. Now you showed the W campaign as a Wonder Woman. So like, let's say we have a women, we can say SME or kind of, starting from house. So the budgets are very limited kind of, or maybe economical budgets, because they don't want to immediately get into the, the social media marketing on a huge way where there's a lot of, we are not getting the right kind of, services. So here, if, our women want to do this kind of campaigns to promote their products, or because they are very intelligent, they are very diversified group we have. So are there any kind of budgetary, like minimum, this can be started like a benchmark, or can be a certain guidelines?
Yeah. So Sharmila ji, you can start marketing for as little as $500 also, right? Because ultimately, आपके पास tools जो है, वो, especially for small businesses, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook पे अभी marketplace है, जैसे, जो retailers है छोटे, या जो apparel, vendors है, jewelry vendors है. So all these businesses, Facebook has something called as Facebook Marketplace and Insta Shop. तो ये दो platforms तो आपके लिए already available है. तो यहाँ पे आप आपका geography define कर सकते हो. अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि आपके products 3 किलोमीटर रेडियस में पहुंचाने हैं या 10 किलोमीटर रेडियस में पहुंचाने हैं, ये सारे ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं. सो पर से अगर किसी बिजनेस को मार्केट करना है अपने आप को, यू कैन स्टार्ट फॉर एज लिटिल एज $500 आल्सो, एंड देन यू कैन लर्न एज यू गो. फिर आप देखते हो उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या है, कैसे किस तरह के इंक्वायरीज आपको आ रही है. अगेन अनदर इंटरेस्टिंग वे फॉर स्मॉल बिजनेसेस टू लुक एट डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इज व्हाट्सएप बॉट्स. व्हाट्सएप फॉर बिजनेस. आप आपके कम्युनिटी या आपके कस्टमर्स को व्हाट्सएप फॉर बिजनेस पे रजिस्टर करके कॉन्स्टेंटली यू कैन स्टे इन टच विथ योर कंज्यूमर्स, सो दैट you have a loyal base of consumers. So these are smaller ways, but very, very interesting ways in which you can use digital to market for small and medium businesses. Hello, I think I've lost Sharmila ji.
We are here. We are right here.
Yeah. So Soumya, another 2 questions, many questions. So on LinkedIn, this businesswoman, what kind of content designed or make on LinkedIn for our women who's into the business or upcoming or budding entrepreneurs?
Sharmila ji, that really depends on the kind of business that your women are running. अगर जैसे कहा मैंने कहा फैशन बिजनेसेस है, अपैरल बिजनेसेस है, तो लिंक्डइन से ज्यादा मैं ये कहूंगी कि जितना विजुअली ये बिजनेस को प्रेजेंट कर सकते हो थ्रू वेरी फाइन फोटोग्राफी, थ्रू रियली रियली रिच विजुअल्स, राइट? यू कैन इवन टेक सच अभी इंस्टाग्राम कैन रियली मेक सेक्सी एनी फोटोग्राफ टुडे, राइट? So use applications, use your own phones if you want, but use imagination to create some fantastic photographs and put it up on channels like Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. So this is what I will advise for things that are more visual, businesses that need visual selling. But again, if you have small consultancies that or advisories that people are running, then for those guys, LinkedIn would be the best. For LinkedIn, सबसे ज्यादा तब चलता है जब आप फर्स्ट, मैंने ग्रुप्स के बारे में बात किया, आई स्पोक अबाउट हाउ पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म्स कैन बी यूज्ड टू मेक स्मॉलर एंड इंटिमेट ग्रुप्स. सो लिंक्डइन ग्रुप्स, फिर लिंक्डइन पे आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश करना आपके थॉट लीडरशिप के बारे में, दोज आर थिंग्स दैट वर्क बेस्ट ऑन लिंक्डइन. And LinkedIn also has pay as you go. They have self-serving ads. Then they have another feature called InMail. InMail में आपके 100 customers जो है उनको directly mail करके आप you can win your customers or acquire your customers. So these are all do-it-yourself, self-serving opportunities that are available for these businesses that you're referring to.
Last question is, Soumya, that particular referring to our Jito women, can you design a simplified version or a simple course for suitable and customized for our women? Yeah. And considering the digital clutter where they feel lost because everybody is doing something, so how they can be exceptional, and now it needs to be customized version. So if you could come up with some kind of offering for our women, I think our all Jito women are very happy to do that.
Sure, Sharmila ji. I think I'll take the conversation offline with you to understand what is the profile of these women and what their requirements are, so I can create something.
Okay, thank you so much, Soumya. It's been wonderful having you with us.
Thank you, Sharmila ji.
Can we have you for any more questions?
Are you asking me?
No, I just mentioned it to Rajat.
Sanubhuti, I am here. I'm getting a lot of requests for the presentations. So that, of course, Soumya, whenever you can send, our team will note down all the email IDs that have been sent on the chat. So request GIF team to collect all the emails from the chat immediately. Most of the questions that I see now are towards B2B, businesses, because B2C businesses find it very easy to, market themselves. So and you very well handled the B2B segment also. I think that is it. We've received a lot of questions which are very similar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think, Rajat, there's just one concluding point that I'd like to make.
Please.
That, it's a myth to believe that advertising for B2C businesses is easier. Okay. Primarily because audiences connect, वहां पे numbers आ जाती है. तब जब आप एक पोस्ट का कोई फिल्म के पोस्टर पे आप इतने सारे लाइक्स देखते हो, तो आपको लगता है कि ये तो चल रहा है, ये इजी है, लोगों को वैसे भी अच्छा लगता है, तो लोग शेयर और लाइक कर रहे हैं. बट let me tell you, if you apply the principles of the B2C marketing, even in B2B, ultimately, जो बंदा आपका content देख रहा है, he's like any other person. He's not specifically categorized as a B2B consumer. He's a consumer, whether he is consuming a B2B service or he is consuming a B2C service. So only what I will urge everyone to look at is, if you just see the 7 pillars that I have detailed, try and see how each of those 7 pillars actually refer back to how you can market your B2B business, including video content. You know, like I said, B2B के लिए video content बहुत jazzy और flashy करने का जरूरत नहीं है. You know, आप घर पे भी record कर सकते हो. You can have simple infographics. You can have whiteboard animations. You can do desktop videos. You can have, the owner or the director of the particular business speak in front of the camera using his iPhone or his, or a camera. And that's it. That's all you need in order to send the information out into the market. And interestingly, the cost that you incur to market for a B2B business is also smaller. Today, all digital channels give you some sort of an understanding of where you can find a database of your consumers. Trade journals ho, LinkedIn pe ho. Now, it's possible for you to target based on where your consumers are, right? So the logic and the genesis of marketing remains the same, irrespective of whether it is a B2B business or B2C business.
Soumya, one question, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So people are asking, is there any platform or any suggestion from your end if someone wants to take a proper course on digital marketing, digital content creation? Is there any recommendation by any chance that you would have?
So there is a company called as Digital Vidya, and they do some decent, you can Google them. The owners are Kapil Nakra and Pradeep Chopra. They do some decent, basic training on digital marketing. So I think they are good, but otherwise you will find a whole lot of interesting options within MOOCs. There is, even in the online platforms like Upgrad, Udemy have a whole bunch of digital marketing courses. But honestly, once the basics are done, one of the best ways to actually learn digital marketing, especially since it's dynamic, every day there's a new technology. Every day there is something new that's coming in. The best way to do it is to work in the area of digital marketing, meet companies, meet vendors. So if you are a business who wants to employ digital marketing, the only way you can learn it is by engaging in digital marketing.
Soumya, one personal question. Someone's asking, what is the minimum ticket size that your company looks at in revenue for a minimum billing for a client that you would take on?
So our billings typically, our minimum revenue per client is in the range of about 1 crore for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, our minimum revenue per client. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's the range. So anything from 1 crore to about 10 crores is how we work. And like I said, most of our businesses are B2C. So the economics and the math works out a little differently over there.
Sure. And so I think you have covered everything very well. And I'm sure this session is really going to help a lot of our youth entrepreneurs, our women entrepreneurs, and those in the startup field. We will be, sharing whatever you send to us to all of them. Some of them will reach you, and we request you to help them as and when required.
Absolutely.
And it was
I'm just going to share my screen. If the host can just enable screen sharing.
Yeah, 1 second. So, Sanubhuti, Akash.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I'll share my screen so people can note down my email address, and I'll be happy to answer any questions people have, which can be directly addressed to me. Yeah, so these are my details. You can just note them down and reach out to me for whatever. I'll help you with whatever I can, irrespective, like Sharmila ji said, if I can, custom create a presentation for the women entrepreneurs, I'll be happy to do that. If anybody has any specific question for me with respect to their industry and how digital marketing can help their industry, how they can use AR or VR or any technology to sell, I'll be happy to, you can help create smaller cohorts of people who you would want me to speak to, and I'll be happy to speak to them and guide them on how they should go about it.
Truly appreciate your time and whatever you've created for us today. Thank you so much for all the learning. Soumya, we'd love to have you engage with our platforms more frequently. It was an absolute pleasure. I thank each and every person and member who was a part of the webinar today. We keep coming back to you with another with a lot of good sessions like these. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
One second, Swarnabhuti,
Yeah,
you have something to say?
intervene for a couple of pointers more. One is, we haven't taken down the email IDs which are given here because, as soon as the session will end, these all email IDs will, get deleted by themselves. So you can register on the link sent with the invite, which is also posted here. And to all those who have registered, you'll be able to send the presentation directly. That's A. B is for the vote of thanks. Next session that we are going to have, we'd like to call upon Manoj. He will just quickly explain the next, looking forward to the next speaker that we will have and the final vote of thanks. Manoj Mehta.
Hey, thank you, Soumya. Such an lovely presentation. Shaglaji has already asked you what the women's need. I would also, on behalf of Rajeshji, would ask the youth also need something, some mentorship from you. So a couple of things, if you can also plan for the youth also. We have a huge plan, youth members, and would love to hear from you also. And also our incubation center, anytime you are welcome to have a session here once the lockdown.
Manoj, I'm definitely interested in connecting with you on the startup and the incubator business for sure, and we'll be happy to address the youth as well. Yeah, so anytime.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. With next Saturday on 16th, we have Shreyas Daftari. He's an NASA scientist, and he'll be having a session with us. He's helping the US government on defense and military programs, and also on the robotic exploration of Earth, Mars, and beyond. Shreyas has been with the NASA for last almost 4 years. So we'll have all of you. I'll invite you, everybody, to be there on the 16th morning, 11 o'clock. That's our time because he's based out of here. So his timing will be morning 11 o'clock. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for youth and the ladies wing also for joining us. Thank you, Soumya.
Thank you. Thanks, Manoj. Thanks, everyone. Bye.